後戻りできそうにないところが怖いんですが。
Kuro Hashida, an ugly, disgusting female who would be lucky to have a man stare at her twice, cannot believe her childhood friend is not in love with her. No surprise there. Her heart is torn to pieces when she finds out he is in love with the school idol. And like every jealous female out there, she begins to plot dangerous plans to win his heart. Under a sky painted with Twilight's first stars and clouds pink like fluffy cotton candies, Kachi Shirokasa, a pretty little angel with eyes that sparkle, stood on a bridge, enjoying the wind in her hair and also the sound and the rhythm of the waves. As she gazed across the shimmering water and gentle breeze carried the scent of sea salt, suddenly a soft voice called her name, drawing her eyes to the silhouette of a young man who, on first sight, dashed his way to her without breaking a thought. Suharu Maru, with a smile as bright as the morning light, confessed that he loved the book that she had published, but in sincerity, he's in love with her. A certain confession festival is coming up, and by the name one could easily conclude what the event is about. Haru, short for Haru, has no one but Cassie for Kachi, who he fell in love with after reading her book. Tetsuhiko, Hiko for shorts, a friend of Haru and the one every girl in class refers to as lower than trash, and I'm not gonna lie, he's a splitting image of the protagonist from Mushoku Tensei, Rudeus Greyrat. He suggests taking Cassie for the festival just to spike Haru. Cassie interrupted their little bro time, but was sent after the other guys who were reading illicit magazines in class. Hiko reminds Haru that she's out of his league, listing out all her very visible characteristics, but left out the obvious fact that she's sassy because not soon after she tore her own notebook because a fellow class girl admired it, saying she'd make photocopies of her notes. Cassie accused her of being a leech. Haru did later see her crying somewhere in school. Cassie, that is. Kuro, a pretty little young girl, Haru's childhood friend, overheard Haru and Hiko talking about her. She popped out of nowhere like a bad pimple. Their relationship has been rocky ever since Haru turned down her confession because he was head over heels for Cassie, who doesn't even know he is living in a world of delusion. Kuro asked him out openly in front of everyone, though there at the back seat, the infamous protagonist right corner, window seat at the back of the class. Kuro was embarrassed to the bone. Kuro lets him off by insisting that her confession was just a joke. They then get the bombshell news that Cassie already has a boyfriend, Abe Mitsuru, which ultimately shatters Kuro's dream world and sends him running away faster than the god of speed, the Flash. Down by the riverbank, Kuro shows up to console Haru, reaffirming her love for him. It's like the classic friend zone rescue scene from countless romantic comedies. She proposes they get revenge on Cassie and Abe for their emotional turmoil, and driven by jealousy, Haru agrees. The next day, after watching an interview where Abe brags about his acting career, Haru meets up with Kuro to hatch their revenge plan. Haru thought the most fascinating and mind-blowing dumbass idea of finding dirt on Abe, bleh. Kuro suggests they pretend to date to make Cassie jealous. Reluctantly, Haru goes along with it. Kuro, seeing her chance, tries to seduce him, rubbing shoulders, caressing hands, she even attempting to seal the deal with a kiss. Haru, still hung up on Cassie, bolts again like the god of speed, but he is the god of disappearing from rooms at the speed of light, leaving Kuro fuming like a Prince Vegeta from Dragon Ball when Destroyer Beerus slapped his precious Boma. Their attempts to dig up dirt on Abe turn out to be as fruitful as a desert garden. Abe then confronts Haru, telling him that news got to him that Haru has been moving around and asking about him. Abe also smiled so cute and revealed that he remembers Haru as a child prodigy actor. This revelation is as dramatic as Luke finding out Vader is his father. Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but you get the idea. As Haru recollects his days as a child actor who was born into a family of low-class actors, his father a stuntman and his mother an unsuccessful actress, Abe continues to confront him, revealing that his relationship with Cassie is just a ploy to prove his superiority over Haru. This revelation infuriates Haru, igniting a fire within him like of Ash Ketchum's determination to be the very best from the anime Pokemon. Abe reveals that he only started acting 6 years because of Haru, who played a role with his dad and kept him singing praises of Haru. He revealed that he came to this school with the sole purpose of humiliating Haru, and that's why he is going to openly confess to Cassie at the confession festival. For a moment there, Haru grabbed Abe's shirt but withheld that punch. One punch man would have punched his face clean of that grin. With Garu from OPM level of determined, Haru wants to compete with Abe. Haru tells Hiko that he'll help with the cultural festival play. Meanwhile, the news of Haru dating Kuro spreads like wildfire as she storms up to him, yelling that that he hasn't checked out her posts since they've been dating, infuriating her fan club and ruffling Cassie's feathers. It's like watching the love triangle in Twilight, but with more school drama and less supernatural angst. Haru asks Cassie to help with the play, and she agrees, well, begrudgingly. As if the news of dating Kuro was not enough, the class went viral on seeing him exchange Nine's what we call phone numbers with Cassie. Later that night, Kuro visits Haru. They chat about her sisters, her peculiar taste in Food Think Food Wars, Level Weird, and a photo of Haru with his old childhood friend Shiro. Before you think far, Kuro and Haru have been next-door neighbors before they could count the walls in the house. They're basically siblings, and to crown it all up, their parents are tied-up friends. Just then, Haru receives a phone call from a clearly jealous Cassie about the play. She heard Kuro's voice in the background and teased Bro of having an in-house date. She informed him that they'll be meeting the next day, secretly in the library. After the call, Kuro becomes jealous and explained that Cassie coming for him might be a plot by Abe to trample on him. She teased him, and they attempt to kiss twice, but failed to due to Haru's legendary cowardice. He's got more jitters than Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. The next day, Haru tries to rehearse for the play, but collapses from exhaustion. Well, let's call it exhaustion. He wakes up in the nursery with Cassie by his side. She said she'd hand him a script for the play, if he'll answer why he stopped acting years ago. Haru reveals that his mother, an obscure actress, was his inspiration. She worked so hard to be in the show that he was shooting. She was eventually accepted to play the role of his mother in the shoot, but she tragically died in front of him while acting in his drama, leaving him traumatized. His dad tried to shut down the shoot, but he fought for his mother's dream. Cassie, moved by his confession, gives him the script and runs away. It's then revealed that Cassie is actually Shiro, Haru's childhood friend. She is the daughter of one of Haru's drama sponsors and was his biggest fan. She was no good at anything, but she loved watching him on TV. Her father introduced Haru to her as a gift, and he became her only friend. They made a promise to create a movie together, but Haru stopped seeing her. Feeling betrayed and believing their promise meant nothing to him, Shiro transformed into a strong and beautiful woman, vowing to get revenge on him one day. However, upon learning the truth about Haru's trauma, she regrets her intentions. It's like Sasuke discovering the truth about Itachi, filled with regret and a tinge of bittersweet nostalgia. Now, the anger and revenge she had for him has melted into nothing but first love. That night, Haru and Kuro devise a plan to sabotage Abe's confession to Cassie. Haru thanks Kuro for her support, hinting that he might be developing feelings for her. It's a moment one could find Naruto in, where the line between friends and lovers becomes beautifully blurred. As the cultural festival approaches, everyone gears up for the big day, ready for a showdown that promises more drama than the season finale of Attack on Titan, as if they'll ever be. LOL. On the day of the Confession Festival, Haru is all set for his revenge. He has a minor but intense showdown with Abe upon arriving at the festival, like two anime rivals squaring off before the big battle. Haru shares his thoughts about the revenge plot and then heads to his class's Japanese cafe, part of the cultural festival. After some playful interaction with Kuro that leaves his classmates green with envy, he's summoned by a mysterious figure. At the school stairs, the mysterious person reveals themselves to be Shiro, Haru's childhood friend who vanished 6 years ago. Memories flood back and Shiro drops the bombshell. He is actually Cassie. It's like the big reveal in Persona 5 where everything suddenly clicks into place. They redefine their relationship, and Shiro, now Cassie, explains that she's been longing and loving him in her anger of forgetting about her boo since she heard the story of why he disappeared. She'd bloomed all her anger into love. On her way, she bumps into Kuro on the stairs. Kuro declares she hasn't given up yet, setting the stage for more emotional fireworks. Like a wrestling match, they tap in and out. As Cassie left, Kuro came in. Haru and Kuro have a heart-to-heart, leaving Kuro blushing like all anime characters caught in a romantic moment. They decide to go on a date at the festival, enjoying the festivities with a mix of awkwardness and genuine connection. But after the date, Kuro slaps Haru, ending their fake dating charade. She tells him that no matter what happens at the Confession Festival, she'll be watching him, adding a touch of dramatic flair like in the movie The Hunger Games. I don't know if it's me, but some days her melons pop out, other days they don't. Funny Melanie business. At the Confession Festival, Haru is determined to go through with his plan, reaffirming his resolve to Hiko. During Abe's confession, preceded by a singing act from a child star, Haru dramatically interrupts and takes the stage, in a twist that would make Love Live. proud, Haru announces that he no longer loves Shiro and declares his feelings for Kuro instead. I tapped my head and sighed. Kuro's rejection shocks everyone but not me. It was like a plot twist worthy of Game of Thrones, but like the King of the Dragons, I saw it coming. Deep down, I know she loves him, but still just wanted to reject him for all the times he rejected her. That's my thesis. After the festival, Hiko and Abe have a revealing conversation. Abe discloses that Shiro's plan was to make Haru fall for her only to reject him, but Kuro's unexpected presence foiled everything. The fake dating with Abe was a desperate move to salvage the plan. Abe, revealing himself as Haru's biggest fan, admits he played the villain to help Haru return to the stage. Both are surprised by how quickly Kuro managed to execute Shiro's plan, yet Abe concludes everyone lost in the end as Kuro still harbors feelings for Haru and obviously Cassie loves him. A conundrum trio, like I said, from Twilight. Momo watches Haru's dramatic festival presentation on her cell phone, recognizing him as her big brother, while she was in an SUV driving along the express. I'm hoping she remains an Oni-chan and nothing else. We can't have him in a battle of three women like it was in Rental Girlfriend. In the dead of night, Haru, Kuro, and Shiro are still reeling from their choices and the humiliation they faced during the Confession Festival. I don't blame all of them if they had a world top save like Goku, monsters to fight like OPM, and demons to slay like... I'm obviously not going to name the anime Ks, you should know it without me saying it. All three of them are just playing the long game and regretting immediate actions. And that's how enemies were made overnight. The following day, while the trio wallows in their depression, Hiko drops a bombshell. He uploaded Haru's rejection on WeTube, and it has gone viral. Haru is furious, his anger like Vegeta when someone mentions Kakarot. Amidst this chaos, the famous actress Maria Momosaka visits their class and, to everyone's astonishment, hugs Haru in front of everyone. It's like a scene straight out of High School Musical. In the midst of their catch-up, Kuro and Cassie popped up like demons from Seven Deadly Sins and demanded an explanation. Momo acknowledged their presence and called them girls from the past. Haru explains to the jealous Kuro and Shiro that he and Momo are also childhood friends, with Haru being her senpai in their agency. Momo then drops another bombshell, confessing her love for him and vowing to make him forget both Kuro and Shiro. This declaration leaves Kuro and Shiro fuming, their rivalry now burning hotter than Natsu Dragneel's flames. Bad enough they were 2, now 3. It's only a matter of time before Momo enrolls in this school. During lunch, Hiko apologizes to Haru by offering him a pizza, a peace offering worthy of a slice from Pizza Planet in Toy Story. Haru reluctantly accepts, suspecting that Hiko's actions might be a convoluted way to help him reignite his acting career. Hiko then introduces Reina Asagi, a jack of all trades, and his middle school friend who brought the pizza. When Haru jokingly asks if she provides erotic services, she denies it, teasing him alongside Hiko with a playful banter like Gintama episode. In the middle of their discussion, Shiro, with Meiko's help, attempts to invite Haru on a date but chickens out and ends up arguing with Hiko about the viral video. Kuro shows up during the heated debate, but Haru is so overwhelmed by her presence and was still very traumatized by her rejection, he fades into the clouds and hides behind Shiro. She uses this opportunity to make Kuro feel bad, rubbing it all over face that she has broken. She chased her away. By the river, Haru confides to Hiko over the phone that he's scared because he no longer understands Kuro. After their conversation, Hiko asks Kuro, who overheard everything, what her next move will be. When Haru gets home, he met a warm home welcome from Momo, having borrowed his house keys from Kuro's mother and prepared a meal befitting of a king. They talk about her career, and Momo confesses she never visited Haru because she had no excuse until now. She reveals that their agency's new president asked her to invite him for a reunion along with Kuro. Their conversation takes a secretive turn when Kuro's younger sisters arrive. Momo quickly hides, and the sisters inform Haru that Kuro has been acting strangely and might have amnesia, a dramatic Voice the Born identity. The path ahead is as uncertain as a Steins Gate timeline. Could this be a plot to make him draw closer to her? Or is this really true and was acquired out of shock of him reacting the way he did when he saw her? Kuro's younger sisters burst into Haru's house to deliver the bombshell news. Kuro has amnesia. Just when Haru thought his life couldn't get more chaotic, and walks Momo, who, after meeting the sisters, starts teasing everyone like a mischievous antagonist character with a penchant for stirring up trouble. Once Momo leaves, Haru and the sisters dive into a serious discussion about Kuro's condition. Haru playfully ribs Midori about her tomboyish demeanor, but he appreciates Akane's wise advice, proving once again that little sisters know best. The next day, Haru and Kuro finally have a heart-to-heart. Despite Haru's lingering doubts, they tentatively agree to hit the reset button on their relationship. Just as they're about to breathe a sigh of relief, Shiro swoops in to pick up Haru, with Kuro in tow. Shiro, always the skeptic, questions Kuro's supposed amnesia. Haru decides to settle the debate with a lunchtime experiment involving an octopus wiener, a food Kuro supposedly can't stomach. To everyone's astonishment, Kuro not only eats it, but actually enjoys it, proving her memory is indeed scrambled. Overwhelmed with relief and emotion, Kuro hugs Haru, reassuring him about her condition. Shiro, who overhears their conversation about Haru's potential return to showbiz and Shun's invite for Kuro to join Hardy Pro, appears on the scene, fuming like a dragon from Fairy Tail. As tensions soar higher than a Dragon Ball Super tournament of power level, Hiko throws a curveball, a proposal for a WeTube channel where they all can be stars. Haru's intrigued, but insists on first visiting Hardy Pro to explore his comeback. Everyone agrees to tag along. At the reunion, Haru reconnects with Momo, reminiscing about their rocky start and her eventual admiration for his talent. The group then meets Shun, Hardy Pro's flashy new CEO, who dangles a tempting offer before Haru and Kuro. Haru momentarily considers using the money to procure erotic favors from Rina, but Kuro staunchly objects. Shun, in his smugness, mocks Kuro and her parents for their objections, triggering Haru's inner rebel. In a moment that shocks the room like a One-Piece plot twist, Haru accidentally spills wine all over Shun's impeccably styled hair. After Shun arrogantly mocks Kuro for turning down his offer, Haru reacts impulsively, accidentally spilling wine all over Shun's meticulously styled hair. Shun, the epitome of corporate smugness, starts speaking ill of everyone, leading Hiko to almost assault him, only to be reined in by Haru's quick intervention. Shun threatens to call the police, but he's interrupted by a surprise visitor. As this mysterious guest whisks him away, a hasty agreement is made among everyone to keep quiet about the wine incident. However, Kuro, ever the blunt one, lies outright about the wine spill. To everyone's surprise, Shiro's father appears as a mediator, diffusing the tense situation. In a stroke of unexpected resolution, Momo proposes settling their dispute through a commercial contest. Hardy Pro and Ultramarine Channel, with financial backing from Soichiro, will each produce a commercial, and public votes will determine the winner. Despite Haru's pleas, Momo firmly aligns herself with Hardy Pro's side for the competition. If Shun's commercial wins, Haru will work for him. If not, Haru promises not to call the police or sabotage Shun's efforts if he pursues opportunities with other agencies. The following day, the Ultramarine Alliance gathers for their first brainstorming session on their commercial project, centered around a new beverage brand. That night, Momo reflects on her tumultuous past, recounting how she and her sister escaped their abusive parents. Eri, her older sister, sacrificed everything to raise her, and Momo's life changed when she met Haru, who became her mentor before abruptly leaving showbiz. Together, the sisters watch Ultramarine Channel's first commercial, which misses the mark by focusing more on promoting the channel than the product itself. The next evening, they eagerly tune in to watch their second commercial, featuring Acid Snake's latest hit, which proves to be a success thanks to Haru's creative touch. When Ultramarine Channel wins the contest, celebrations erupt among the group. Hiko receives a call from Soichiro, who pledges his support for their channel. Soichiro surprises Hiko by revealing that he knows Hiko is Shun's son. Abe, always the informant, spills the beans about Kuro's true intentions behind orchestrating the fight and the contest, to get closer to Haru and potentially sabotage his return to showbiz. As Momo announces her decision to enroll in their school and divulges her positive relationship with Shun, Haru, overwhelmed by jealousy, flees from his friends. Taking refuge with Rina's help, he questions why he's friends with Hiko. He falsely claims it's because everyone else approached him with ulterior motives except Hiko. Just as Kuro tracks him down, Haru's facade starts to crumble. Ultimately, as Haru and Kuro walk home together, Kuro nonchalantly mentions that her appetite has returned to normal, and she remembers everything. Haru's shock is evident when he realizes the whole amnesia story was a clever ruse. Stunned by the revelation that Kuro faked her amnesia, Haru confronts her, demanding an explanation. Kuro remains tight-lipped, refusing to justify her actions. Frustrated and hurt, Haru crosses a line and calls her Blackheart, declaring war against her in a moment of anger. Alone at home, he regrets his outburst, fearing Kuro's retaliation and grappling with his conflicting feelings towards her. Meanwhile, Kuro, wary of potential manipulation by others, decides they need a mediator. In the club room, Momo is welcomed by everyone as Hiko introduces the Ultramarine Alliance's membership rules and proposes a new project: a beach getaway over the extended weekend. Initially resistant, Shiro reluctantly agrees to the plan when Kuro insists on bringing her sister along on the second day. However, both Kuro and Momo suspect Shiro has ulterior motives, sparking a quarrel between Haru and Kuro, who now finds herself distrusted by him in favor of Shiro. Back at home, Aoi takes over Kuro's usual household duties and senses the tension between Haru and Kuro. Acting as a mediator, possibly at Kuro's request, Aoi encourages them to openly express their motivations and reasons for their conflict. While Aoi acknowledges that Kuro is in the wrong, she advises Haru not to pursue any romantic entanglements during the beach trip until he resolves his issues with Kuro. Meanwhile, Hiko reflects on Soichiro confronting him about Reina being his half-sister. He receives thanks from Shiro for his cooperation, but worries about Haru's potential relationships with any of the girls. The outcome of the beach trip seems to hinge on Momo's next move. Upon arriving at the beach thanks to Eri's ride, Haru becomes increasingly aware of Shiro's presence, prompting a confrontation with Eri. Later, a jealous Momo also notices Haru's attention towards Shiro and challenges her to a cooking contest, setting the stage for a culinary showdown like they always have in Food Wars. The sun-drenched beach air crackled with tension as Shiro and Momo squared off in a cooking contest, egged on by Eri's mischievous suggestion to prepare local hot pots, despite Shiro's initial insistence on chicken. Meanwhile, en route to Okinawa, Momo strikes up an unlikely friendship with Reina, their bonding session interrupted only by the eavesdropping on Haru and Hiko's conversation. Haru, lost in thoughts about Kuro, receives Hiko's not-so-subtle advice about forming a harem to avoid hurting anyone's feelings. Momo, realizing she might be the last contender in the race for Haru's heart, resolves not to let him and Shiro get too close during the trip. Upon arriving at Kachi's beachside villa, the group assigns rooms and promptly hits the pool for some relaxation. Haru, with a mischievous grin, suggests that they all don bikinis and take a group shower, a suggestion that earns him a swift dunk in the pool courtesy of Hiko's well-aimed throw. Meanwhile, back at the villa, Kuro, engrossed in her chores, discusses the trip with Akane, inadvertently stoking Kuro's jealousy with her imagined scenarios of Haru and Momo growing closer. On the beach, the group, including the newly befriended Reina persuaded by Hiko, enjoys a carefree day until Haru's tranquil moment is shattered by a call from Shiro. She lures him to a secluded beach to show off her bikini in private. As they sit together, Shiro boldly perches on Haru's lap, creating an intimate atmosphere abruptly interrupted by a jealous call from Momo, who, along with Hiko and Reina, witnesses the scene unfold from afar. In a comical twist, Momo rushes to Haru, inadvertently exposing her padded chest to everyone. Back at the beach house, while Haru and Reina hit the books, Shiro practices her dance routine. Impressed by Haru's unexpected dance skills, Reina and Hiko are left dumbfounded by the fact that this supposed fool possesses such hidden talents. Later that day, as Momo toils away in the kitchen, Haru seeks out Shiro, who broods alone on the beach after having prepared chicken, Haru's favorite dish, only to be thwarted by the day's events. Haru's heartfelt encouragement almost leads to a spontaneous kiss, but Aoi's cautionary words about these types of trips echo in his mind, causing him to pull back. The next morning, after a lively breakfast with Hiko, Haru is awakened by Kuro's sudden arrival, accompanied by her sisters. Kuro, brimming with an air of determination, makes it clear she's not ready to let Haru slip through her fingers. As the four Shida sisters arrive at the beach house, Kuro's already simmering anger at Haru's antics boils over, leading to a tense confrontation that requires Midori to physically restrain her while Aoi offers apologies on her behalf. Later, Hiko convenes a meeting to organize their time, scheduling study sessions, filming, and relaxation. Following the study session, Kuro notices Haru and Shiro growing closer and decides to employ her secret weapon. On the beach, everyone eagerly anticipates a day of fun. Kuro strategically grabs Haru's attention with her stunning bikini, only to have Midori playfully taunt her about Shiro's perceived superiority, triggering Kuro's ire and prompting her to call Haru aside for a private conversation. Still embroiled in their ongoing spat, Kuro unleashes her yet unknown sadistic side, teasing and confessing her feelings to Haru repeatedly, much to his bewilderment and discomfort. During the study break, Kuro presents Haru with a specially prepared test, quest, initially expecting him to struggle, but is surprised and motivated when he completes it with flying colors, prompting her to sincerely confess her feelings once again. After their study session, the group prepares for filming the music video. Akane offers Haru a helpful suggestion regarding the placement of the speakers. Taking initiative, Haru initiates a practice conversation between Akane and Hiko to help her overcome her shyness. During dinner, Haru grows concerned about Shiro's sore feet, which have been bothering her since the essay, prompting Midori to assist by bandaging them up. Later that night, unable to sleep, Haru sneaks out to the beach and observes Shiro receiving a heartfelt call from Meiko, expressing her dedication to succeed immediately, following Haru and diligently practicing for the music video. Meanwhile, Aoi discovers Akane silently observing the scene. Akane confides in Aoi about her feelings for Haru, leading to a heartfelt embrace where Aoi reveals she too has fallen for him, but chooses to hide her feelings, understanding that her sisters share the same sentiment. The following morning, both Kuro and Momo notice Haru and Shiro's growing closeness. During a filming session, Haru insists a particular shot is already perfect, only for Shiro to stumble and fall off the stage, injuring her arm. Concerned, Haru rushes to her aid, inadvertently hurting his own arm in the process. Back at school, Hiko edits the footage while Abe appears curious about the trip's progress. Hiko informs Abe that Shiro has landed the lead role, while Momo expresses concern for Kuro and Haru admits to preferring the fragile type. Upon leaving, Haru and Kuro hitch a ride with Shiro and her father. Shiro's father announces that Shiro will move in with Haru to assist him during his recovery, much to Kuro's dismay. Additionally, Shiro's maid will accompany her, adding another layer of complexity to their already tangled relationships. After indulging in a steamy fantasy involving Shiro in the bathroom, Haru found himself summoned by the girls for a serious discussion about their tangled relationships. Unsure of how to navigate the complex emotions swirling around him, he turned to Hiko for advice, only to receive a nonchalant suggestion to enjoy the attention. Back in the living room, the girls unanimously decided to stay the night with Haru to prevent any romantic moves. However, the atmosphere grew awkward when Kuro's sisters paid an unexpected visit, their behavior betraying their unspoken feelings for Haru. Kuro herself stirred the pot by teasing Haru with a provocative declaration of her love. As the evening progressed, both Kuro and Momo received calls that forced them to leave abruptly. Left alone, Shiro's maid, Shion, approached Haru and candidly revealed that Shiro's respect for him didn't extend to romantic feelings. They were simply rivals in Shiro's eyes. This revelation added a new layer of tension between them, unseen by Shiro herself. At school the next day, Momo's presence sparked jealousy among the male students who began to resent Haru for being close to her during lunch. After Momo departed, Shiro attempted to bridge the gap by offering to feed Haru. However, haunted by Shion's words, Haru excused himself and sought out Kuro on the school roof. High above the campus, Haru and Kuro engaged in a heart-to-heart conversation. Amidst playful banter and subtle provocations, they gradually reconciled. Just as they began to mend their friendship, Hiko interrupted with a proposal during a phone call. He suggested the club produce a documentary detailing Haru's journey in showbiz, a topic that had garnered significant public interest. Additionally, he proposed filming the real ending of Child King, Haru's final acting role. After careful consideration, Haru agreed to Hiko's ambitious plans. The decision set the stage for a new chapter in their lives, prompting the girls to convene for a meeting after the credits rolled. Despite initial disagreements, Shiro facilitated a compromise. Momo agreed to cease causing turmoil, while Kuro promised to stop teasing Haru with declarations of love. They also devised a schedule to take turns caring for Haru, hoping to cultivate deeper connections with him. During the meeting, Momo proposed an idea for the documentary that sparked renewed determination in each girl to win Haru's heart. With plans in motion and emotions running high, they embarked on a journey filled with, I would say, personal growth, but we all know they're in for the greed of acquiring Haru's heart. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Haru woke up to find Shion, Shiro's maid, scribbling on his cast. Startled, he managed to catch her in the act, leading to a playful scuffle before Kuro walked in and saw them in a very funny position, scolding Shion lightly. Over breakfast, they discovered a gossip featuring sensationalized rumors about Haru's retirement from showbiz. Concerned, the group convened an emergency meeting of the Ultramarine Alliance. Hiko revealed that these rumors were planted by Shun, the CEO of Hardy Pro, as part of a strategy to manipulate public perception. In response, Hiko proposed a counter-strategy, producing a documentary about Haru's career and revealing the true ending of Child King, a project already sold to a streaming platform. Haru, initially hesitant, agreed after Momo suggested incorporating interviews with the girls at meaningful locations from his past. The first interview took place between Haru and Shiro. They reminisced about a past trip they almost took to Tokyo Tower. She enjoyed him holding her hand and running in front of her, and she was reluctant at first but later made up her mind to go. Unlike Naruto, he had a rather bright and... someone can't even say bright and gay these days. He was rather bright and cheerful as a kid, but now he's dull, kind of. He is no longer as confident as he was when he was a kid. Losing his mom would have been too much trauma. Haru and Shiro were sharing a moment of intimacy that almost led to a kiss before they remembered the camera crew. Determined to revisit the tower together, they made plans for a future outing. Back at home, an excited Shiro ventured to the kitchen, where Haru attempted to win over Shion with photos of Shiro. However, Shion, sharp and playful, outmaneuvered Haru in their banter, leaving her boasting about her victory later that night. The following morning, Shiro attempted to wake Haru with another intimate moment, nearly kissing him until Momo barged in and unintentionally woke Haru and causing a comedic scene where Haru's morning routine was hilariously disrupted. Kuro said she couldn't leave Shiro for 2 seconds. Embarrassed, Shiro jumped off the bed and Kuro jumped on him and incidentally came across his abs. Before you can count sheep, both Shiro and Kuro were rubbing on his abs. Shion, the maid, popped in and screamed. Seeing two of them in that position must have been something. For the next interview, Haru accompanied Momo to a location that held significance in their shared past. As they revisited memories and discussed their previous relationship, including moments with Haru's late mother, Momo revealed her deeper motives for getting closer to Haru through this documentary project. Their conversation turned emotional as Haru recounted his mother's passing, leading to both of them shedding tears, each grappling with their own sense of loss and longing. After their emotional moment by the river, Haru and Kuro returned home, their hearts lighter after clearing the air. However, as they entered the house, Momo seized the opportunity to nudge Haru for a kiss, hoping to capitalize on their shared intimacy. Shion, acting as the self-appointed love police, caught wind of their attempts and swooped in to execute the law of the War Pact of not flirting. She was initially swayed by old photos of Shiro as a child, but in the end, she couldn't resist her duty and ended up kicking Haru away, much to Momo's chagrin. The next day at school, Hiko remained convinced of Shun's involvement in the media attention surrounding Haru. To counteract, he devised a plan to release both the documentary and the true ending of Child King simultaneously, aiming to reclaim control of Haru's narrative. During a break between classes, Kuro took Haru to a secluded cave, an old hideout of his after his mother's death. There, they reminisced about the day Kuro had followed him there, their bond deepening in the quiet solitude. By the riverside, they spoke candidly about their recent arguments, each expressing their regrets and apologies. Kuro bravely confessed her feelings once more, but when Haru hesitated in response, she withdrew her confession, understanding his lingering feelings for Shiro. They agreed to maintain a secret pact as childhood friends, with Kuro acting as if they were in a relationship until Haru was ready to take the next step. Back at the entertainment club, Abe visited to gather information about Haru's situation. Hiko revealed that Shiro had lost her advantage, and Kuro, anticipating rejection, had proposed the childhood friends arrangement to revert to their relationship before the confession festival. She had confided in Hiko, who was sworn to secrecy, much to Abe's surprise and concern. Fully recovered from his emotional turmoil, Haru resolved to film the true ending of Child King. After both the documentary and the finale were released to the public, Hiko informed Haru that he now had a dedicated fan club. Realizing the toll on the girls, Haru, Kuro, Shiro, and Momo mutually agreed to bring an end to their competitive dynamic. We're treated with the true ending of Child King, when Haru's character emerged from a coma. The three main girls portrayed by Kuro, Shiro, and Momo were there to welcome him from the world of deep slumber. He tells them that with them in his life, he need is nothing else, and I'm pretty sure that if King Solomon had fallen sick anytime in his life, he would have used that line whenever he got better. Having thou all in my possession, they be nothing that I lack of this world.